Truth be told, I've sort of moved away from doing these kinds of videos. One reason is I'm just F1'd out at this point, and it feels like a lot of the drama that's going on at the minute is being manufactured to make it feel like some sort of a film, and to be honest, the toxicity as well, that's getting beyond a joke. The only reason I covered the Russian Grand Prix is because, well, it was a nail-biter of an ending and a landmark occasion, because it's not every day you watch a bloke get 100 Grand Prix wins. But then the Brazilian Grand Prix happened and social media went mental. First of all, we had the news that Hamilton was going to take a grid penalty for another engine. So when you have a penalty, you do damage limitation for that penalty by climbing as high as you possibly can in qualifying, right? But then there's another twist in the tail, because Lewis was disqualified from qualifying because of an irregularity on his rear wing. The TLDR of it all is, it opened more than it should. But barely. And if you can hear the drilling outside, I do apologise. South Staff's water are doing more work on the water mains outside. As you can imagine, this starts the Mercedes cheating crap on Twitter, and the FIA had already tested this part and was satisfied that by action or design, the wing was legal. But a part on the wing had failed, allowing the DRS flap to open just that little bit extra beyond the maximum allowed gappage of 85mm. They also decided that Verstappen giving the wing a little bit of a touch was not significant enough to have done the damage, and it was the failure of whatever bump stop or whatever they use, caused the wing to open more than it should. The wing was open by just 0.2mm, not it's only 0.2 meters, as one person accidentally wrote on the internet. The 0.2 meters is 8 inches, which might have actually warranted a penalty. Mercedes just simply fixed this for the race. I need to make very, very clear, the wing itself was not illegal. But in the wise words of our simple tailor friend Garak, if your mind is already made up, then I will not confuse you with facts. And precedent exists for this. Hungary, when Aston Martin's fuel gauge started bugging out and told the team Vettel had more fuel in his car than there actually was, and Vettel was disqualified from the race because of a part that failed. Hamilton was disqualified from qualifying because of a part that failed. Consistency. This then leads us into the sprint race, where you've got a very angry Lewis Hamilton started from the back of the grid, and I was expecting him to get to 12th, maybe 10th, but no. He decided he was going to make it up to 5th, which then became 10th because of the penalty that carried over. What I actually find hilarious here is that an article on the BBC explaining all of this, there is actually a link to a podcast about the Nuremberg trials. It's just very out of place. So we fast forward to Sunday and the actual race, and you got Verstappen taking the lead at turn 1 with a move that everybody moans at Lewis for doing, and that's not being biased, that's just what was said on social media. And then Perez also gets ahead of the Mercedes as Bottas went wide at turn 4. And then Red Bull got Sonoda'd. Again. Sonoda was probably a bit too enthusiastic going into turn 1 and made contact with Lance Stroll, wiping off Sonoda's front wing, and maybe Mercedes was anticipating a safety car or something because they swapped positions the next time they came to turn 1, which left Lewis a run at Perez once the safety car, if it came, ended. And while the safety car came, the run at Perez didn't. And the racing between Lewis and Perez for second was awesome. Lewis ran the outside of turn 1, Perez ran the outside of turn 4. And that seems to be the case on tracks like this, because someone did it at Silverstone this year as well. It might have been Gasly or Norris. It was somebody like that. If not, I'm probably thinking of last year. But then a couple of laps later, Lewis got by for good, with the straight line speed being absolutely insane between the two cars. Checo was clocked at 188 miles an hour, while Lewis sailed by at 205. Normally, it's about 12 miles an hour difference between a DRS car and a non-DRS car. For Lewis to go by another 5 or so miles an hour is just incredible. That engine is something. And now for lap 48, where all the controversy comes. Max, Lewis, turn 4. With the whole running him off the road thing, and this is where half of the audience is going to get pissed off. Now, I'd like to see the onboard from Max to see what's what, because from the outside shots, he looks like he's not bothering to hit the apex at all in a deliberate attempt to force Lewis off. But without that onboard, you can't really make a decision for yourself. I mean, like, the stewards obviously had that, but I'd like to see it to gauge an opinion. But it's odd that that onboard shot hasn't been shown. But looking at it in real time, nobody died, so keep on going. If there were parts flying off Lewis's car or something like that, you might have a case, but since there wasn't, as you were. But like I said, I would like to see that T-cam footage from Max's car. Does he look at Lewis's car? Does he straighten or make a sudden movement and so on? And this is why I've said in a few videos now that the steward should do a This Is Why segment, like on the F1 channel the day after a race. But at the same time, you can also factor into all of this, but Hamilton does it. And as I was reminded about 15 times in Instagram and Twitter DMs yesterday, one of those stewards was a certain Brazilian that's turned up in a fair few of my videos, and a meme I'm doing my hardest to run the hell away from. I mean, it's been run into the ground for me, but, you know, a bet's a bet, 100k subscribers and I'll do the story. And as an aside, when I do opinion videos, this is the bit that gets tiresome when these videos get made, because if I say Max should have got a penalty for that, I get called a Hamilton fanboy. And if I say, as I've done here, that there's no investigation necessary, carry on, it's going to get the Hamilton fans with the pitchforks. To be honest, this season has just been drama. And if you've been wondering why I haven't been doing race reviews and F1 news reactions lately, this is why. Fire up Twitter, see the flames, get the hell out. So Max didn't get anything for the squeeze wide, and some would argue that's what the two drivers should have done at Silverstone, but Max did get the black and white driving standards flag for the Indy 500 style weaving down the straight between 3 and 4 on lap 58, which opens up the following question. If he does that again in any of the next 3 races, would he get penalised? Probably not, but people will be aware that that's a tactic he's going to try and employ. It's that line between lobbing the kitchen sink at the race to keep the guy behind and being too aggressive in your defence, but that's why my stewarding is done in Touring Car Esports series and not for the FIA. I mean, if anybody from the FIA is watching and wants a YouTuber to come and see inside the steward's office, I will happily do it. And Lewis did finally get past Max, and there was a subtle bit of tacticals used in the overtake. Show the nose into 1, force Max to cover the inside, which screws up his run through 2 and 3. Lewis then gets a better run and therefore better straight line down the straight, and then sends it around the outside into 4. Well, I mean, he got the move done before 4, but that was an option if it came to that. And does Lewis do some sort of weavage? I mean, he does get the move done and then cover Max before shifting it to the outside again, but after the previous attempt, tit for tat. But the difference in straight line speed is a tad noticeable, because Max was clocked at 318.1 kilometers an hour. Lewis was clocked at warp 6. So now with 3 races remaining, if Lewis wins the next 2 rounds with fastest lap, he'll go into the finale at Abu Dhabi with a 2-point lead. Something momentum, something. Yeah. Gasly put in another great performance, and AlphaTauri are currently 5th in the Constructors' Championship. And Gasly has just been doing underrated driving all season, but he was always going to be in the shadow of Verstappen and Hamilton. Eliminate Verstappen and Hamilton, and you've got Gasly in with a shot of taking driver of the season, along with Norris and Fernando, I guess. So there's just 3 races left now: Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Abu Dhabi. Power circuits, maybe, who knows? We'll have to see what happens, because anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. So all that's left to say is that that's pretty much my views on the Grand Prix in Brazil yesterday, and leave your comments down in the comment leaving area underneath this video. And while scrolling down, if you think I've made some good points, then hit the like button, and for more like this, subscribe and get the bell on if you haven't already, so you never miss out on a future video. Although I don't know how many of these I'm going to do towards the end of the season, because like I say, I'm just F1'd out and can't be dealing with the drama anymore. But who knows, maybe I'll have something to write about after the next race, or even at the end of the season. So like I say, if you want to know when those videos go up, subscribe, bell, and all that good stuff. Massive thanks, as ever, go out to the good folk of Patreon. If you do want to leave me a monthly tip to sort of support the channel in a more personal fashion, you can do so by following the link in the description, where there'll also be a link to Discord, and also some vague directions to my social media. So until next time, I've been Millward. Have a great day wherever you live in the world, and I'll see you all again soon for another video. So until then, bye.